Hello everyone, Dave Lee coming at you once again, and welcome to another live chat Q&A. And thank you all for joining me here. I see there's quite a few people in the room already. A lot of people commenting that it's like waiting in an elevator, and I'm very, very proud to bring that experience to you. This is what the channel is all about. It's about that authentic elevator experience. No, of course we are here today as a little bit of a celebration. A thank you to all you guys out there who have helped me reach this incredible milestone on my channel, which is 20,000 subscribers. 20,000 subscribers! I can't believe it. I'm incredibly wrapped. I'm very happy, very humbled, and yeah, look, I've been saying it over the last couple of days, but I'm just going to keep on saying it. Thank you. Thank you to everybody out there who has subscribed, who has joined me in the comments feed, who's liked, maybe disliked some of my videos, left me good comments, left me bad comments, absolutely everything. It inspires me and it keeps me going. It just keeps me wanting to make bigger and better content. So thank you all for helping me reach this incredible milestone. We started the year with 15,000 subscribers, and now, actually today, we clocked over 21,000 subscribers, which is, we're experiencing some pretty good growth on the channel at the moment, which is amazing. Thank you all so much. I've had really good reception on my Disney Evolution videos that I've been doing recently, just sort of out of the blue, and it's kind of swept me off my feet, I guess. I really didn't expect these little videos I've been doing to be as successful, I guess, as they are, or to be as well received as they are. So thank you all. I'm glad that you're all enjoying the content that I am pumping down there. Someone's asking, what is he down under? Why is he down under? Well, for those of you who haven't been following my channel for as long as maybe other people, down under is Australia, mate. I am Australian, born and bred. Of course, at the moment I'm living in the UK, so I'm not quite down under at the moment, but there we go. That's the inspiration behind that. Dave Lee, down under. I'm up over at the moment, I guess. I'm getting weird looks from my girlfriend over there. Okay, we're going to get into the Q&A, I think. We get all the little celebratory bits and pieces out of the way. So, how these work, if you haven't joined me on one of these before, basically, I'm just going to open up the forum, ask away whatever you want to know. We're going to talk movies, we're going to talk pop culture, we're going to talk whatever you guys want to ask. And I'm going to do my absolute best to answer as many questions as I can. I will occasionally miss one. I will get lost in the feed. Something happens, you know, it's just, sometimes it's hard to keep up with all of them. If you do have something that you really want to ask, just spam the feed. Wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and if I don't answer it, just spam that question back out there and I will answer. I will answer most questions within good reason. There are some questions that I won't answer. We've had some silly stuff in here in the past. But anyway, it's mostly open. And I'm happy for you guys to fire away, ask away some questions. So let's have a look. I'm going to just try and scroll through the feed here at the moment. Aficionados Chris is in here. Thanks for joining me, Aficionados Chris. Over 20,000 subs. Couldn't be more happy for you, Dave. Thank you so much, Chris. It means a lot as someone who inspired me to do what I'm doing on this channel. Kinda Lovejoy is asking, are we going to get Toy Story 1 to 3 on 4K before Toy Story 4? I'm saying it's probably a really good possibility that we are. Disney seem to be, I guess, rolling out the 4Ks of the original films before the sequels come out recently. They did it with Incredibles, they did it with Wreck-It Ralph, they did it with a couple of the Avengers ones came out when Infinity War hit 4K as well. So it seems to be a little bit of a trend, so I'm personally hoping, that yeah, Toy Story 1 to 3 get a 4K treatment. I really hope so. Someone says, oh my god, he lied. He has 21K. I do have 21K, thank you so much. Again, the growth over the last few days has been incredible. I hit 20,000 3 days ago, and I clocked over 21,000 today. That's amazing. Thank you all so much. What is your favorite explaining Disney video, someone says? I love them all. You know, I've got a real soft spot for the Mickey one, the Mickey Evolution video, because that's the one that started it all. And Mickey Mouse is the one that started it all, isn't he? And I guess he's the one that really kicked off the Disney Evolution videos as well. I actually did that one as a celebration for Mickey's 90th birthday at the end of last year, and that was more successful than I kind of ever expected it would be. So this year I thought, oh, it's Donald Duck's 85th anniversary. Let's do one for Donald Duck. And that one took off, and I thought, well, let's make this into a series. But I think I really like the Pete one that I've done as well, because that's completely exploded. I really didn't expect that. Thank you everyone for pushing me to do Pete, because that was awesome. What else have we got on here? We've got just trying to find some questions here. Dave's theme music is the best elevator music. Happy 20 or now 21,000 subs from Yuvi. Thank you very much. What else we got? Hey Dave, do you ever pay attention for whatever happened to the Tom and Jerry Golden collection? I'm not sure. I never really got into collecting those like Warner Brothers ones and the all those kind of ones. I know a lot of them didn't sell very well, and I think that a lot of those series, they kind of stopped halfway through. I know they did like a series of Looney Tunes ones on Blu-ray. I don't think they sold very well, so they just kind of stopped. I'm guessing, I'm not too sure what happened with Tom and Jerry Golden Collection, but I'm guessing maybe that's the deal. Maybe they didn't sell well, so they just kind of stopped doing it. I'm not too sure. What is the next question? How excited are you for Endgame? From Joshua Eady. I'm so excited for Endgame. It comes out next month. Can you believe it? It's funny. I was sitting in the cinema for Captain Marvel the other day. I'm not going to spoil anything because I know there'll be people in here who haven't seen it. But it just like hit me. Like, wow, Endgame's out like within the next month and a half. That's awesome. I'm so excited for Avengers Endgame. I'm bursting with excitement at the moment. Pop Motion asks, have you got any new Funko Pops recently? I haven't personally at the moment because I'm in the UK at the moment, so I haven't really been buying a whole lot of stuff. But back home, I have been ordering a few Pops. I collected the entire, up until now anyway, the entire Mickey Mouse 90th celebration, 90th birthday Pop series, which I think they're really cool. I'm excited to check them out when I get home. Jarvan Wrench, I've been subscribed 200 years before you started your channel. Wow, very good. There's some time travel going on in here. Popcorn Chat asks if you could resurrect Walt Disney only to show him 5 movies after his death, which 5 would you choose? This is an awesome question. I don't know. So we're talking like 5 Disney movies or just 5 movies in general? Let's stick with 5 Disney movies made after his death. I'm going to go with maybe something like, this is a tough one. I would personally show Walt Disney Mary Poppins Returns. I'm not sure if he'd like it. I think he would. I think he'd appreciate what they did with that movie. But we kind of know that Walt Disney was not really the kind of person who really liked doing sequels and stuff. But there were always rumors that he was planning a Mary Poppins sequel. I don't know. I'd like to know what he thought of that. Maybe something like National Treasure. I feel like that's one that's gone under the radar in recent years. I really enjoyed the National Treasure movies. I really feel like they're in keeping with those classic 60s like action adventure movies that came out of the Disney studio, even like the ones that came out in the 70s. I may be showing some of the stuff that came out of the 90s, the Santa Claus, that's absolute classic. Toy Story, the Toy Story movies, you got to show him some CG animation. Walt Disney would have absolutely loved CG animation. He was always like trying to push the boundaries in animation, how to make it better, how to make it more lifelike, more entertaining, more engrossing for an audience. And I think something like Toy Story would blow his mind. Don't be fooled. If Walt Disney was still alive today, he would be making movies in CG animation, not traditional. That's not to say traditional animation shouldn't be made anymore. I think it should be, and I think it's sad that Disney doesn't make traditional animation anymore. But I think Walt Disney would definitely be, dipping his fingers in the CGI animation canvas. Let's have a look. What else have we got in here? Can you tell us how to live in an elevator from Raptor Kitten? I'm not sure. I've never lived in an elevator. But again, this channel, all about the authentic elevator experience when you're waiting in the lobby to come into the live chat. So I'm glad you all got that fantastic experience there. Raptikin says, so you're upside down. Technically, I am. I am upside down to how I normally would be. Some would argue that in Australia I'm upside down, but I'd like to say that here in the UK I am upside down, yes. What is your favourite Disney characters? Pika Fan says. We got to go with Mickey Mouse. I love a bit of Mickey Mouse. Snow White, the first one of all. Pinocchio. I love Belle from Beauty and the Beast, of course. They're probably up the top for me. Probably up the top. Goofy, Donald Duck. Gotta love all those guys. Absolutely love them all. Caney P. Okay, let's check this one out. I have a feeling this might be a troll comment, but we'll see how we go. Why did Captain Marvel suck so bad? Why was there so much SJW rubbish spread? And why did they crap all over Nick Fury? Also crapped all over the past MCU films using the Tesseract as a joke. Well, agree to disagree there, Caney P. I know you've popped your head in these live chats before and trolled before, but there you go, you get a little moment of spotlight there. What else we got in here? Captain Marvel box office success proves that the Episode 9 boycott is a minority, from Thomas Blutus. Very true. Captain Marvel is absolutely smashing the box office at the moment. Captain Marvel made back its entire budget plus more in one day. So Captain Marvel is soaring very, 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 very well. If there are people out there who didn't like Captain Marvel, that's totally fine. But coming at me with this kind of, you know, just silly stuff. Let's keep it positive in here today, guys. What is your favorite Disney movie? This is from Sophia Aguilar. My favorite Disney movie of all time. I've got a few. Tied, equal number one for me. We're going to go with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the very first one of them all. Without that one, nothing else that comes after it exists. Fantasia, I absolutely love. I adore that movie. It is the greatest showcase of Walt Disney's traditional animation and the technological advancements that he was making at that time. I just adore that movie. Great showcase of animation. And we're going to throw in The Lion King as well. Absolutely love The Lion King. It's the very first movie I ever saw in cinemas. And it's just a very nostalgic movie. It's just a brilliant movie, isn't it? The Lion King. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. Okay, let's get on to some more questions. What else we got in here? Ooh, almost lost myself there. Kind of love Joy. Subscribe to PewDiePie. You heard the man. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Popcorn Chat saw Spider-Verse yesterday. Amazing movie. Can't wait for you to see it. I'm looking forward to seeing Into the Spider-Verse. Still haven't seen it. Haven't found the time to see it. It's out of cinemas now, and I'm just waiting for it to come out on Blu-ray. So I'm very excited for that. Raptor Kitten says, hoping for no spoilers. No spoilers for Captain Marvel in here. You can ask some stuff about Captain Marvel if you want. Just keep spoilers to a low. Let's have a look. Pop Motion asks, why did you move to England? Well, I came over to England about 8 months ago now. My girlfriend's English, so I came over here just to spend some time with her in England, basically, see how I liked it over here, test the waters with my career and everything, and just kind of, I suppose, just see how things go, play it by ear. I'm loving my time here in England at the moment, and yeah, it's a bit of fun. I love it. So I'm here, and I don't know when I'm going back home. Let's have a look. What else have we got in here? Caney P asks, are you worried about Endgame after Captain Marvel? No. Why would I be? Why would I be? Captain Marvel is an awesome character. I really, really, really liked Carol Danvers and the character. You might not have. That's completely fine. I thought she was great. I thought the movie was quite good. I'm not going to say it was great. I'm not going to say it's the best movie ever made. Because it wasn't. And for me, it's kind of like in the middle of the rung when it comes to Marvel movies. But it was enjoyable enough. And no, I'm actually, after seeing Captain Marvel, more excited for Avengers Endgame, because I can't wait to see how Carol Danvers comes into this world of the Avengers and kind of works with them, and it's going to be awesome. Maybe I would have liked Captain Marvel to have been introduced maybe a little earlier, maybe a few years ago. Maybe we could have had a couple of Captain Marvel movies leading up to it, but I don't know. I'm kind of happy how it's traveling at the moment. What else have we got here? When's your next Blu-ray haul video? I will probably do my next Blu-ray haul video when I get home. I'm, again, not sure when that's going to be. Maybe around Christmas this year. But I'll have like a bunch of Blu-ray haul videos and stuff, Disney collection update and stuff when I get home. Pete Seamos says, hey mate, congrats on the 20,000 subs. What are you missing most about Australia, aside from JB's 20% off sales? Oh, JB Hi-Fi 20% off sales. I miss them. What I miss about this back home? I just miss friends, family. I I miss my beautiful city of Melbourne. I just love Melbourne. Just little home comforts, you know. I'm not homesick. I'm loving my time here in the UK, but of course you do miss a few bits and pieces here and there. My laptop's about to die, so just give me a second here, guys. All right, we're back. We're back. I don't know if the feed cut out or anything there, but the laptop was just about to die, so I had to fix that one up. Yeah, just, you know, just home comforts and stuff like that. What else we got? What else we got in here? Jonathan Pinison. Any thoughts on the upcoming documentaries on Disney Plus? I'm very excited about Disney Plus as a whole. And I think let me just be back 1 second because I think the stream's playing up a little bit. We'll be back in just 1 second. This stream has got off to a rocky start. First, my laptop almost died, and then I come back and the microphone was off. But I think we're back. Sorry about that, guys. We'll get back to the question here, which is any thoughts on the upcoming documentaries on Disney Plus? Very excited for Disney Plus as a whole. And yeah, there are going to be some good documentaries coming up on the service, which I'm super excited about. One in particular, which has been announced, Ink and Paint, which is based on Mindy Johnson's incredible book. This really wonderful, beautiful volume on women in animation and the women that worked at the Disney Studios, predominantly the women who worked in the Disney Studios back in the very early days, inking and painting the cells. And her book on women in animation is absolutely stellar, and I'm so excited for this to be turned into a documentary series, basically. Because this book, I mean, not everyone's going to go out and buy an $80 book on animation history. Understandably, some people aren't big readers. Some people just, you know, it might be out of your budget. And I think a documentary series based on that is a really good way to get Mindy's text out sort of to a larger audience. Mindy is a really wonderful woman. I've spoken to her quite a few times. I wanted to interview her for the channel, but it's just never kind of eventuated. But I really hope this documentary is fantastic. I know it will be. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And Mindy has had some really great success with that book. It's so deserved. So deserved. Let's get another question here. Whoop, almost fallen over here. Next question here. I'm worried about the Disney service because what if people can't afford the service or people don't have enough time for it? Well, I think what we've heard from Bob Iger is that the service is actually going to be cheaper than Netflix to start off with because there's going to be less content on there, much less content on there. So hopefully it won't be out of people's time, out of people's price range. Time-wise, I guess you've got to make up your own decision whether you have time for more entertainment. If you feel like you have the time for it, then I think it's totally worth it. if you don't have the time for it, then maybe don't subscribe. But I think I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's going to be fairly reasonably priced. That's the problem going forward, is that as entertainment shifts more towards streaming, it's costing a lot more for people to enjoy television. That's gonna be the one difficult thing once Disney Plus comes in, because a lot of people have been relying on Netflix or whatever other streaming platform, Sky, whatever, for like Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, and now they're all going to be moved across. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what happens in the future with streaming and all that kind of stuff. What exclusive Blu-ray versions of Captain Marvel do you want to see? This is from Green Turtle Gaming. I don't know. I think they actually announced on Zavvi like this amazing box set. It's got like a bunch of character cards. It's got pins. It's got like in a really beautiful light up box. That's really beautiful. That's like the best, like one of the best box sets I think Disney have done for a very, very long time. And I think outside of that, I don't really see Disney really doing much else. It's going to be the stock standard 4K, 3D, standard Blu-ray, all that kind of stuff. But I think I would love to see like a big Marvel box set one day from Disney, like all the movies, whatever else. But yeah, as for Captain Marvel, I don't think we're going to get too much other than what Zavvi's got up for order. What else have we got here? Have you seen the documentary Life Itself? It's about a guy with autism that is a big Disney fan and how Disney films have helped him in his life. He got to meet Alan Menken and the voice of Jafar. I have heard about this. I haven't seen it though. I think, is it on Netflix? I haven't got around to watching that just yet, but I do have to get onto that. Apparently it's really, really amazing. What Disney live-action remake would you like to see that hasn't been announced? From Colonel Kern. I am looking forward to... it's tough because I love Snow White so much, but I'm really, really hoping they do a Snow White remake. I'd like to see that world on film. I'd love to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I'd love to see all those characters come to life on live action. Of course, we had like those Snow White movies from Universal quite a few years ago, and they weren't great. So might be a little bit tricky, but I've enjoyed the Disney live action remakes so far. So hopefully, if they do go down that route with Snow White, they can do it. They can do it well. I've lost myself on the feed a little bit here. This is everyone telling me that there's no sound. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm back to where I am. Scott DeCSR. Dave, what happened with your home movie theater? Do you still have one? I love the video you did on its beautiful home theater. Yes, I still have that. That's back at my home in Australia again. I'm in the UK at the moment. I'm missing my home theater. Oh yeah, it's one thing I'm missing about Australia. My beautiful home theater. But yeah, of course I still have that. It's back home. That's the question I already read. Yeah, no sound. We need sound. Houston, we have a problem. No sound. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, Previews Australia. Have you been to Poundland before? Because they have great cheap movies. I've been to Poundland. There is a Poundland here where I am at the moment, but it never has the Blu-rays. Never has the Blu-rays. I've never seen Blu-rays there in our Poundland, unfortunately. Favorite band? Mine's Erasure. Sorry for spam. Cole YT. That's okay. I didn't see that question further up. What's my favorite band? My favorite band of all time is the Beatles. I love the Beatles. Love the Beatles so much. And Coldplay is probably my favorite modern band. I used to love U2 when I was a bit younger. I loved U2 so much. I've gone off their music a little bit. But yeah. How possible do you think a traditionally animated Mickey Mouse feature film is? This is from Alan F. I think it's very... Oh, look, I don't know. They tried to get a Mickey Mouse feature film up and running for years and years. They talked about doing it when Walt Disney was alive. But Mickey Mouse is a character that... he's a character that doesn't work well on his own. We love Mickey Mouse, but he is a very vanilla character. He's very bland. Writers have a very hard time writing for Mickey Mouse because he is, you know, he can't get up to much mischief. He can't do anything too cheeky or too breaking. He can't break too much ground. The thing is, Mickey Mouse has become such an icon of the Disney company that they've restricted themselves so much to what they can do with Mickey, and it's been like that since the 1940s, 1950s. Mickey Mouse is just such a hard character for them to crack, and multiple times over the years they've tried to do like a Mickey Mouse solo feature film, and just never been able to crack it. Never say never, but I don't think we'll ever see that. I would love to, but maybe not a Mickey Mouse movie. Maybe like a Mickey, Donald, Goofy, big theatrical feature film would be cool, but I don't think you'll get like a solo Mickey. I don't know if they'll ever be able to crack that. What else have we got? Does Universal movies work if you bring them from America to Australia? Universal are one of the companies who traditionally do not lock their Blu-rays. There will be the occasional one that is locked, but usually that's one that has been distributed by another distributor overseas. For example, one recent example is Molly's Game. Molly's Game was distributed by Universal in the States, but then distributed by Entertainment One in Australia, UK, probably by someone else elsewhere internationally. So they locked that one because of those rights issues there. But usually, if it's a solely Universal owned, made film, yeah, they're usually region free. Damien Hair Metal, do you think the live-action Lady and the Tramp will get a physical release? I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that one because I feel like Disney, I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait and see what Disney does with physical media once the streaming platform kicks off, because I kind of get the feeling that Disney are going to try and like phase out physical media once this streaming service comes in, and that's going to be awful. It's going to be awful for people like me and many of you guys out there who like to collect these discs. But I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen with Disney's like exclusive to streaming films, television shows, whether they will ever get any kind of physical media release, because I feel like they're going to want to hold these close to the chest and like make them the incentive for you to join the streaming service. But then again, Netflix has very rarely, but they have released their original programs to Blu-ray, to DVD in the past. I hope Disney does follow that, especially if the movies are good, and like if the Lady and the Tramp one's really good. I'm sure I want to own it on physical, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. It's so unpredictable at the moment. Do you have a favorite? Someone asked, do you have a favorite theater platform? But I think I've lost myself. Here we go. We're back in the thread. Do you have a favorite theater platform? Example: IMAX, Dolby Cinema, 3D, etc. I just love the cinema. I absolutely love IMAX for particular movies. I won't see everything in IMAX. I very rarely go to IMAX. It's very expensive. I did see Captain Marvel in IMAX. That was amazing. Really, really fantastic presentation. I do love seeing movies in IMAX as long as they're shot for IMAX. They've got the expanding ratio, all that kind of stuff. Dolby Cinema, I'm not sure if I've not actually been in on a Dolby Cinema screening before. I don't think. I would love to, so I have to check that out. 3D, actually I saw Captain Marvel in 3D. It's the first movie I've seen in 3D for years at the cinemas. I'm kind of gone off that a little bit. Are there going to be re-release versions of the other two Little Mermaids? Devin Woods asks. Of course, Little Mermaid just got re-released on Blu-ray and got released on 4K for the very first time ever. And yes, the two sequels, the sequel and the prequel, have been re-released to Blu-ray, but only exclusively to the Disney Movie Club. So if you do want to get your hands on them, unfortunately, the only way for you to get them is through the Disney Movie Club. Carter Lovejoy, I want a VHS packaging for the Captain Marvel 4K. I found a VHS packaging for E.T. today at Target. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. Captain Marvel, like VHS, one of those like vintage VHS kind of cases that they do recently. That would be cool for Captain Marvel, I think. Do you think they'll have Disney Channel shows like Sunny with a Chance and Hannah Montana on Disney Plus? From Xavier Boland. I think they probably will. I think they're going to just take stuff from everywhere. Theatrical stuff, Disney Channel stuff, ABC. I believe there's going to be some ABC stuff on there. There's going to be like National Geographic. All that kind of stuff is just all going to be thrown onto this service. So yes, I think we will see some Disney Channel stuff on there. When are you ever going to do an evolution of Horace Horsecollar? Apple TV says we will get to that character. We're slowly working our way through them. I'm at a rate of about one a week. At the moment, we're working through the bigger, more popular characters, and then we'll kind of get into some of the smaller guys. I might do Horace Horsecollar, Clarabelle Cow. They will more than likely, be done in a video all by themselves. We'll see what happens with that. What is your earliest memory that got you into film? From Marshall Kaiju 98. My earliest memory that got me into film was actually, I was probably about 5, 6 years old maybe. I very young. There used to be a television series on called Mumphy, the Adventures of Mumphy the Elephant or something like that. Now, Mumphy was a cartoon show. It was great. I absolutely loved it. I was at my grandma's house, and it was like a rainy afternoon. We were inside, and she said, "What do you want to watch?" I said, "I want to watch Mumphy. I want to watch Mumphy." And she said, "Well, I don't have Mumphy, so you're going to have to pick something else." And she said, "What is Mumphy anyway?" I said, "Well, it's this show about an elephant who has a friend who's a scarecrow." And my nan said to me, "Well, I don't have Mumphy, but I've got another movie with a scarecrow in it, if you want to check that out." I said, "Go for it, put it on." Put it on, and of course it was The Wizard of Oz, and that is my favourite movie of all time. And I remember sitting there watching this movie thinking, wow, this is unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And it just captivated me. I remember the moment Dorothy first walks out of that black and white world, that sepia world, into the Technicolor land of Oz. I remember as a 5, 6-year-old, I turned to my nan and I said, "You know, Nan, I'm going to have to borrow this." And I did, and I watched that to death. I watched that movie to death. It's still my favourite movie of all time. I was just absolutely captivated by that film, and it really opened my mind to, wow, how exciting are movies. Look at these great places you can go, these adventures you can go on. And then not long after, a few years later, probably around 1998, soon before Star Wars: The Phantom Menace opened in 99, I remember my dad showing me the Phantom Menace trailer. It was like, back then, the internet was so slow. There was no YouTube or anything like that. The way like videos got shared and stuff was nothing like YouTube now. It was you would send like the MOV file in an email, and that was like chain emails, and people would like, yeah. Anyway, the episode 1 trailer was this thing that went around via emails. I believe they did upload it to the Star Wars website too, but yeah, it went through emails. My dad got it in the email. He's like, "Check this out. This looks cool." I was like, "Wow, it looks awesome." He's like, "You know, there's 3 other movies. We've got to check them out." So I checked them out again, fell in love all over again. How do they do these amazing things? How do they make these movies? My mind was just ticking. Anyway, that's how I got into film. That's how film became my passion, and how I wanted film to be my life, basically. Those 2 experiences combined. Joshua Eady asked, have you seen a movie called Coraline? It's absolutely fantastic and really underrated. Haven't seen Coraline. Is that a Henry Selick film? Or Leica Studios or something? It's like that, like stop motion stuff. I haven't watched. I'm not a huge fan of stop motion stuff, but I should check that out because apparently it's quite good, as you say. Kanye P, any news on the Rebels box set? No, I haven't heard anything about a Rebels box set yet. I'm waiting for one myself. Would it be surprised to see The Simpsons would soon be owned by Disney because Fox was bought by Disney? I think UV here is asking, Are you asking whether The Simpsons will wind up on Disney Plus? I'm not sure. I believe, from what Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney, has said, is that they're going to start strictly with Disney stuff, and then over time they'll start adding stuff from Fox. Whether that will include The Simpsons, I'm not too sure. They might go on Hulu because Disney owns a majority stake in Hulu, so Disney's going to start using Hulu as the main hub for like the more mature adult features and shows and stuff. Most likely all the ABC stuff, all the Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures, and The Simpsons. I don't know because they're really going to try and keep Disney Plus family friendly. I mean, I think The Simpsons fairly family friendly these days, but a lot of the earlier episodes are fairly. They push the boundaries for the time anyway. I'm not sure. Maybe they might wind up on either of the platforms. Let's have a look. What else we got? What do you think about Brother Bear? This is from MDDF. I love Brother Bear. I came to that fairly late. I reckon I only watched that maybe 3-4 years ago, maybe with 2 of my younger cousins. They wanted to watch it, and we watched it together. I just absolutely loved it. Really good movie. I have to watch that again because it was fantastic. Finn on here says, "Hi Dave, congratulations on 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, Finn, and thank you for joining me on here." Are you excited for Spider-Man Far From Home? Says Green Turtle Gaming. So excited for Spider-Man Far From Home. But first up, we got to get Avengers Endgame out of the way. So exciting. Do you think Disney will move Fox properties like The Simpsons from Universal to their own parks? Oh, this is from Hayden McGee. This is interesting because Disney are in this stage at the moment where they're really trying to incorporate all of their, I guess, their brands, their subsidiaries into their parks. I love the integration of Star Wars in the Disney parks. I love the integration of Marvel in the Disney parks. I'm not sure I would be cool. I mean, I'd have to be cool with it, but I'm not sure whether The Simpsons would be a great fit for a Disney park. I think they work very well at Universal. Of course, Simpsons Fox property, they loaned or they sold like theme park rights to Universal for The Simpsons. And I'm not sure if maybe that contract that they have with Fox will continue on. But I don't see Disney merging The Simpsons into a Disney park. I just don't see that happening. But never say never, once again. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? I think we've just had a super chat come through. It's popped through. Dragon Fist 900 says, "Can you please do a video on the history of Peter Pan?" I think what's going to happen once I do... Thank you so much for the question. Did I read your name? DragonFist900. Thank you so much. And thank you for the donation there on the Super Chat. Thanks so much. I never asked for this stuff, but it's always humbling when someone wants to donate something like that on the Super Chat. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Will I do a video on the history of Peter Pan? I feel like what I want to do once the Disney Evolution stuff is over and done, I feel like what's going to happen is I'm going to get through like the main characters. I'll probably do some of the side characters. Again, Horace Horsecollar, Clarabelle Cow, Chip and Dale, maybe, you know, some of the other characters here and there. I think then that's going to open up the possibilities for me to go through some of the older movies and, yeah, maybe do a video about the history of Peter Pan, the history of Snow White, history of bits and pieces. I was doing a series, I guess I still am sort of doing a series called Behind the Disney Classics, which is my first kind of Disney documentary series where I explore the making of all of the Disney films. There's quite a few of them. If you haven't checked them out, you can check them out on my channel. I like all these little documentaries about the making of all the movies. I've done maybe, I'm not sure, maybe 10 of them. No, there'd be more than, maybe close to 20 of them. They don't do as well as the Evolution videos, though, which is unfortunate, because I really love doing the Behind the Classics. I will hopefully do more of them soon. Let's see, what's the next question? Thanks once again for the super chat there. Much appreciated. Just scrolling through the chat here. Scott DeCiazar, Dave, what are your thoughts on Samsung not producing Blu-ray players anymore? Are you worried about the future of physical media? I'm very worried about the future of physical media. I feel like we're at the stage now where it's slowly getting phased out. and it worries me a little bit as someone who loves physical media, has a huge physical media collection. I'm not too sure. I feel like Samsung, I swear by Samsung. I use all my television gear, my players, everything's all Samsung. I love it. I feel like them jumping out of the game, I'm not sure if it's so much about them trying to kill physical media or just them wanting to focus on other things, taking away maybe expenditure, putting the expenditure from the players to other things. I don't know. It's such a rocky point in history right now, where we're going to this whole streaming world. I don't know what the ramifications of all this stuff is. I've got so much stuff on this couch here that I'm just trying to get it all out of the way there. I keep knocking it with my hand. Just throw it on the couch over there. What else have we got on here? Just scrolling through. I feel like sometimes this chat goes back up a few rungs and then I have to get it back down. I don't deserve subs, someone says. Everyone deserves subs. Everyone go and give subs to I don't deserve subs. Do you think steelbooks are a good thing or a bad thing? I think steelbooks are a good thing. I used to collect them, but they got very expensive. I'm trying to cut down on the amount of like versions of movies that I buy. So that's kind of why I stopped buying steelbooks. But I think steelbooks are great. I think they're really awesome. A lot of people have like huge steelbook collections, which are always fantastic. They're beautiful. They're beautiful things, but they can be quite expensive. Angela Martinez asks, has Disney ever made a World War II film? Specifically, like a movie set in World War II. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything, but they made a lot of movies during the war. During World War II, obviously, a lot of people went off to war. A lot of jobs didn't exist anymore. People were low on money. People had to ration food. People weren't going to the cinema because they didn't have money to go to the cinemas. And the whole entertainment industry kind of, not the whole entertainment industry, but parts of the entertainment industry basically caved in. Walt Disney never really had much money up until his theme parks. His theme parks were in like the mid 50s. After Disneyland opened, that was really when he actually started making money for himself. He was mostly poor before then. Every movie that he'd make, all the money that he made from that, he'd throw directly into the next movie. He wasn't a very wealthy person for many, many, many years. So during the war, once the war broke out, he didn't have the money to be able to keep making his animated films. He had Dumbo, Bambi in production at the time, and basically just had to halt all productions until after the war. And what they did during that time, though, was they basically took commission work from the US government and from the military to make basically what were propaganda films, cartoon animations. They made the whole string of Donald Duck shorts, which I'm sure you'll know if you've seen my Disney Evolution videos. Whole string of Donald Duck shorts where he goes off to the war. And they were basically made as propaganda films. There's this one called De Fuhrer's Face, where Donald has a nightmare that he's a Nazi in Nazi Germany. And some really, really dark stuff, really dark World War II kind of stuff that appealed to national pride, I suppose. But then, yeah, there was all this stuff commissioned from the military and from the US government, which was like, they were like the kind of movies that you'd watch in school, I guess, is like what am I thinking? What's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of documentaries, sort of like how-to videos, I guess. They made this whole movie on warcrafts and how the warcrafts were made, how the planes were made. They made a lot of just really weird stuff during World War II. But as far as Disney movies that are set during the war, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Slipcover King says, but will Disney Plus have Song of the South? Very, very, very unlikely. I don't see Disney dropping Song of the South anywhere for a very long time, if ever. I really hope they do, because it's an important movie. Yes, it's very controversial, and it's very politically incorrect. I don't know, it's a tricky thing, but I think it's an important movie for people to see. just to kind of as a product of its time. Back when they were doing the Disney Treasures sets, actually when they reissued a lot of the war films, a lot of like the kind of really kind of breaking boundaries kind of things like that, they had like disclaimers at the beginning of the shorts. There's actually a couple of Mickey Mouse shorts. There's one in particular where he does blackface, which is, you know, pretty horrible thing. But I reissued that. They did put that on DVD, but there was like there was a disclaimer at the beginning of that, which was like, this is a horrible thing. We don't condone this, but this is a product of its time, and you have to, you know, view the film as a product of its time. And it's a learning curve. So if they do ever release Song of the South, and my wish would be for them to release Song of the South with that disclaimer at the beginning, which is, this movie is a product of its time. This movie does not represent the values of the modern day. This movie represents values that people should never have ever had. But it's a learning curve. We can't dismiss history as if it never happened. And if we want to watch that movie, it's one of those things where you have to watch it and be like, okay, this is what it was like then, and you learn from that. Like, look how we've moved on, and maybe, you know, today that kind of movie, that kind of thing is, especially this day and age, is important to look back at stuff like that, to further ourselves as people, to make ourselves better people, because Song of the South is, again, a very controversial film. It's not a very good movie either. I've seen it. It's not a very good movie. It's not a very good movie at all. Are we going to get a live-action Peter Pan by Disney? Devin Woods asks. I believe there's a Tinkerbell movie in production, which is like a live-action version of Peter Pan from the perspective of Tinkerbell. Be interesting, I think. Carter Lovejoy, have you watched the new DuckTales series? I've seen bits and pieces, and that's actually quite enjoyable. I think it's quite good. Andy's randomness. In most cases, what region do you prefer for Disney Blu-ray releases? I'm a bit picky. All of my Disney animation titles, apart from like the first few that I ever bought, are American releases. I have a few Australian releases from when they first started doing the Blu-rays, and then I kind of switched over to the American releases because I love the slipcovers. We don't get slipcovers in Australia. The presentation is much more beautiful in America. Some of the American ones have a lot more special features than the Disney, well, especially the earlier Disney releases. Anyway, I like the animated titles to be from the US. Some of my live action stuff I don't mind being from Australia. Stuff that I don't particularly need in slipcovers. A lot of the American Disney live action movies, especially the stuff with the Disney Movie Club, were never released in slipcovers anyway, so I'm not so picky with my live action stuff, but the animated stuff definitely, like 99% of the time, is from the US. John Ingham, just want to say hi, Dave, and all. Have you watched Mad Max yet? I have watched Mad Max Fury Road. I'm ashamed to say I've never watched the original Mad Max. I've seen like bits of it. It's like one of those movies that, as an Australian, you've seen bits of it. You've seen like the main bits. I don't know if I've ever sat and watched the whole movie, but I have like bits and pieces. I reckon I could probably piece the movie together in my head from the little bits I've seen here and there. But I don't think I've ever actually sat and watched the entire movie. But I have watched Fury Road, and I loved it. Loved it. Anton Yilmaz, what's next Disney Signature Collection going to be? The rumor on the street at the moment is that Cinderella will be released in a couple of months' time, and it should be announced within the next month, or within the next few weeks even. So, keep your eyes open. That's a rumor that I've heard floating out there. Whether it's true or not, I can't be 100%, but the rumor is Cinderella is next, and hopefully with a new transfer, just like Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid used the original transfer from the Diamond, the original master anyway, but created a new transfer out of that. Hopefully they do that with Cinderella, because the original the transfer of that for the Blu-ray was awful. But I'd love to see Fantasia. That's been the rumor as well, that Fantasia is coming soon, but I'm not too sure. James Giotis, what is the worst movie you have seen that is so bad that you don't want to recommend to everyone? I don't know. Zoolander 2 is just about one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. I love the original Zoolander. Second one was just awful, so bad. I really, really didn't like that movie. So never watched Zoolander 2. Carter Lovejoy, Phantom Menace is 20 years old this year. That makes me feel really old. Gosh, I was 8 years old when that movie came out. Yeah, I'm an oldie. I'm an oldie now. Popcorn Chat, what are your thoughts on a modernized Back to the Future remake set in the 2010s with Tom Holland as a Marty McFly type character? Don't touch Back to the Future. Let's just not. Let's just not. That's like most things. I don't mind remakes. I don't mind sequels. I don't mind reboots. You guys know this. I am a big supporter of retelling stories for the next generation in different ways, new ways. Back to the Future is one that I don't know if it would ever work. Those three movies are just like lightning in a bottle, and I don't know. It would depend. Tom Holland as Marty McFly, I think would be kind of cool, but I don't know. I think if they did like a spin-off kind of thing, like a reboot where it's not quite Marty McFly and Doc, it's different characters going back to the future, it could work. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Porrick Reviews. If there's going to be a midnight show of Endgame, will you go to it? I am hoping that, as usual, I'll get a media preview for that and hope they see it a day or two early. Whether or not I can make it. I couldn't make my Captain Marvel one, unfortunately, so I saw that a little bit later. Unfortunately, that's why my coverage of Captain Marvel is a little bit late. But I usually do get early preview screenings for the Marvel stuff, so hopefully, fingers crossed for Endgame. Otherwise, yes, I'll be there on midnight, seeing it as soon as I can and get as much coverage out as soon as possible. What kind of animal movies you prefer? CGI or back then when they train animals like Homeward Bound? Savage Lobo says this. Okay, so like back in Homeward, like back in like the 70s, 80s, 90s, they would actually just film real animals sitting there, and now they make the CG ones. I like the CG stuff. I think it's more humane. And I think it's more enjoyable than just seeing a dog sitting there with a fake mouth moving. Yeah, I think I prefer the CG stuff. Jeff B, hey, I'm glad I'm out. Hey, Jeff B, thanks for joining. Dainty-us. Any chance we'll see any of the locked away Disney films such as Song of the South on the streaming service, or even wartime animated shorts? Again, Song of the South, I don't think we'll see on there. Wartime animated shorts, I don't think we'll see on there either. But most other stuff, I think, is going to be pretty fair game for that Disney streaming service. They're going to be really gung ho about that, and they're not going to cut. I don't think they're going to be cutting any corners. They're really going to win you over. Jeff B asks, has Disney announced pricing for Disney Plus? They haven't announced pricing yet, but apparently it's supposed to be cheaper than Netflix when it launches, so we'll see. Finn asks, have you seen the new Ricky Gervais show Afterlife? Unfortunately not. I'm dying to watch it. I'm a huge Ricky Gervais fan. As you know, I know Finn. Hi Finn, how are you doing? As you know, Finn, I am a Ricky Gervais fan. And I haven't got around to checking it out just yet because I've been covering Captain Marvel stuff for the last few days. I've been doing a few videos here and there that I just need to get out. Unfortunately, it's hindered me from checking out the new Ricky Gervais series, but I'm dying to watch it. No pun intended there, but yeah, I'm waiting to watch it. Have you seen it? Text me, let me know if you've seen it. Colonel Kern asks, can you do the history of Winnie the Pooh? Yeah, maybe I will do that one day. What kind of video? Let me know in the comments. After I'm finished with the evolution videos, what kind of stuff are you interested in seeing? History of other Disney characters, history of Disney movies. I'd love to do a series focusing on each of Disney's animators, what he would call his 9 old men, which were the 9, main animators that he had in the studios in the 20s, well, 30s, 40s, sort of, you know, in that kind of period. I'd like to do like a video focusing on each one of them, how their animation style impacted the movies, inspired the movies, whatever, but I don't know if that's anything anyone would be interested in. Just let me know, what kind of like Disney history kind of videos would you like to see? I'm really hoping to do a series. I'd love to do a series called Lost Disney, where I cover like a bunch of Disney movies that have been planned, or had been planned, were in production at one point, and then just never got made. I've actually been working on one. I've been studying one. I've written it. I'm with the cooperation of the original screenwriter of the project, and I want to put that up, but I'm just waiting for the right time to be able to put that up, because I feel like it's a really important project, and it's something that I want a lot of people to see. I want it to have like a good reception, and I think now that I'm actually getting really good reception on these Disney Evolution videos, I feel like maybe it is the right time to launch that, but I'm not too sure yet. Let me know down in the comments. Let me know if that's something you guys are interested in checking out. Carter Lovejoy, you working on a Disney Evolution for Daisy Duck? Yes, she is next. I'm hoping to have that one ready by the end of the week. These things only take me like 3 days to do, so I'm probably going to start working on Daisy Duck maybe tomorrow or Tuesday. I just have to... I've got a couple of other things that I'm thinking about maybe doing, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, Daisy Duck will be this week. That'll be this week's Disney Evolution video. Nicholas Borg. Hi, Dave. Hello, Nicholas. Carter Lovejoy. I hope Black Widow will be the first R-rated MCU movie, or at least a series on Disney+. Black Widow movie hasn't been announced, but apparently it's very much a thing. Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, was asked about this on the red carpet recently, about the Black Widow movie being R-rated, and he basically said, yeah, no, it's not going to be R-rated. It'll be PG-13. So, yeah, unfortunately. I think that would be pretty cool, but again, I think Disney's going to have a little bit of trepidation jumping into the R-rated market again. Once they've got Fox, they can start experimenting again, like they did back when they had Touchstone. And I think part of the reason Disney have bought Fox is all the great avenues that it opens up, all the great new possibilities it opens for content, for Disney content. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever see Marvel, if we'll ever see Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff as R-rated. I don't think they'll ever do that. Let's have a look. What else we got on here? Angel Martinez says, I mean a movie about World War II. That's back to the Disney stuff. Yeah, as far as I can think, I don't think there's a Disney movie about World War II. Someone could correct me down in the comments. I'm not too sure. Dan, what do you think of the idea that Goose beats Thanos? I think that's a silly idea. That's a silly idea. Green Turtle Gaming, any theories for Endgame? I don't like to theorize too much, because we all see what happens when you have grand theories and they don't turn out right. We learned that with Star Wars Episode 8. We saw what happened there when people's theories didn't come true, so I try not to theorize too much, unless I'm making a video on theories. Thomas Baludis, can you do a Spider-Man movie ranking when Far From Home comes out? Yeah, I think I will be doing one of those. Do you think Flubber will ever get the Blu-ray treatment? Damien Hairmetal says. Interesting you say this. Let me see if I can pull this up, because years and years and years ago, I reckon back in probably 2010, maybe 2011, back in the early days of Disney Blu-rays, you'd get the Blu-ray, and inside there would be this little booklet which would have all these pictures of the upcoming Disney titles over the next few months. So you would get the latest Diamond Edition, and inside this pamphlet would reveal what the next Diamond Edition is, and then it would have like a list of all the animated movies that were going to be reissued soon, a list of live action stuff that would be reissued soon. This one, 2012 actually, back in 2012, Disney had this in one of their... They had this in one of their little pamphlets. I can't remember what movie it came with, but let me just make sure we get this on the screen right. This was a... we lost our... This was a little advertisement that they had in one of their little pamphlets. As you can see here, we've got Flubber right down in the corner, just over here. Flubber, of course, has never been released on Blu-ray. The interesting thing to note here is it's also advertising. I'm trying to so you can see it there. Maybe it's too bright now. Hang on. No, it's just not. There we go. Flubber in that corner. We've got advertisement there for the Santa Claus in the middle, Pollyanna over here, Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber, 2-movie collection, and Babes in Toyland. The only ones that ever got released out of that soon after were the Santa Claus box set and Babes in Toyland. Pollyanna was released as a Disney Movie Club exclusive, probably, I would say, 5 years later. And then the Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber both got released as individual Disney Movie Club exclusives, probably around the same time, maybe 5 or 6 years later. But Flubber, of course, the Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber are the original 2 Flubber movies. But the original Flubber there has not ever found a release on Blu-ray. There it is. This haunts me, this picture, every time. We've got all the other ones, but we don't got Flubber. And that is one of my favourite Disney movies from childhood. I love Robin Williams. I love Flubber. That was supposed to be the 13th anniversary edition, and now that would be 19th anniversary. Maybe we'll see it this year or next year. They're releasing the Goofy movies for their 20th anniversary and the 25th anniversary. Flubber, please! Please! If we're going to get Flubber on Blu-ray, it will be a Disney Movie Club exclusive. I can guarantee that. And hopefully it will be this year or next year. I hope. I hope. Dan says, have you ever seen Song of the South? Ain't you rated anyway? Yeah, I rated it on Letterboxd. Didn't the 1915 Birth of a Nation manage to get multiple Blu-ray releases? Okay, this is interesting. Song of the South, again, yeah, I have watched Song of the South. It's not a very good movie. It's not a very good movie at all. 1915, there's a movie from 1915. It's a silent film. I think it's a silent film called Birth of a Nation. It's basically like this grand epic. It goes for like 3 or 4 hours about the history of America and about the founding of America. And it is a very, very politically incorrect movie. There are depictions of slavery, the Ku Klux Klan, all these kinds of really horrible, unsavory things, of which at the time were very, very disgustingly the norm of the time. And yes, Birth of a Nation has had multiple releases on Blu-ray, on DVD, and again, as I said about Song of the South before, they have been released with disclaimers saying this is a work of its time, and you need to watch this movie as a work of its time. Now, Birth of a Nation is, I believe, it's in public domain, so many different distributors have released that film. But the difference here is the Birth of a Nation has been released under like boutique labels. I believe Eureka Entertainment released them, released it. A couple of other labels put it out as well. And that's because these kind of boutique labels can take risks. They can release controversial stuff. Disney is in a position where Disney can't get involved with controversy. Disney is, for, close to 100 years, has been the preeminent studio for family entertainment. And if Disney puts out Song of the South, which is a very, very, very controversial movie, Disney are no doubt going to cop some kind of backlash for that, which is kind of unfortunate against a very politically incorrect film. But it is a movie that exists. It's a movie that exists. But I think there's a lot of trepidation there. Again, if Disney does release that, they have to handle it it has to be handled well. And it's not like they can just rush out and go, yeah, here's Song of the South. It has to be tasteful. It has to be tasteful. That's the difference there, is that Disney can't have that kind of controversy because they're the preeminent film studio for family entertainment and for wholesome goodness. Joshua Eady says, what's your favourite film score? Mine's Corduroy Road by Adam Young. I don't really know. I say this all the time, I love the score from Black Swan, but that's a bit of a cop-out because it was based on Tchaikovsky's, oh, geez, it's just completely escaped me right now. Swan Lake. Fantasia, I love the Fantasia score, but that's all pre-existing classical music. I love the score from Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, a lot of those like really older movies. I love the Gladiator score, Braveheart, Truman Show had a really beautiful score. Interstellar is an amazing I can't listen to the Interstellar score because I have weird. If I've listened to it before going to bed, I used to listen to music when I was going to sleep just to kind of relax and just go to sleep, drifting off to music. And a couple of nights I listened to the Interstellar soundtrack, and I had the trippiest dreams ever. I've never gone back to the soundtrack because whatever it did in my head, it's just like weird dreams. Weird dreams. Would you rather have no slips or a battered up slip? Dan says. Depends on how battered up. I'm used to, like, I import so much stuff that it's inevitable that, like, 80% of the slip covers you receive in the mail are going to be battered up somehow. They're going to have corners that are either ripped or crushed a little bit or scuffed. There might be a mark on them. I don't like it when that happens, but it's part and parcel. So I would rather a slightly damaged slip over no slip, maybe, I suppose. But if it's a slip that's like completely just ripped in half, I would throw it away. So no slip. What else do we got on here? E-Man360 asks, what is your favourite song? Favourite song of all time is Imagine by John Lennon. I adore that song. I love it so much. If that song's on, I have to stop, drop everything that I've got in my hands and just chill. Such a gorgeous song, and it's what we need today. There's someone in here just spamming with just random letters and stuff. Please don't do that. Please don't spam, because it's annoying. Not just for me, but for other people on the feed as well. I ask that politely and kindly, please. What else have we got on here? I don't know why I'm singing that. I'm delusional. It's 11 p.m. here. I usually do these in the morning. It's quite late here, but I wanted to do this one that was a decent time for pretty much everyone around the world. Evening in the UK, morning in Australia, and afternoon in the US. Talking about Australia, actually, I was going to say this at the top of the video. I forgot. It's a public holiday over there. Happy public holiday, everyone. It's Labor Day in Victoria. I believe it's Canberra Day over in the ACT. Let me pull up my calendar here. It's 8 Hours Day in Tasmania, and it's the Adelaide Cup over in South Australia. So happy public holiday for everyone over in Australia at the moment. You got a day off. How cool is that? Mr. Mario. Hey Dave, Mr. Mario here. How many movies total do you have from the US? Probably, my collection is like 5,500 titles, I think, across Blu-ray and DVD. A good majority of that is, a majority of that would be bought in Australia. I couldn't tell you how many American titles. Maybe a couple of hundred, maybe a thousand. I don't know. I couldn't say. I know I've got almost 300-400 Disney titles. Most of them are from the US. So maybe inching close to 1,000 titles. Scott DeCiazar says you can get Song of the South on Laserdisc for the $300 on eBay. Yeah, Song of the South has been released on home media in the past. It got a VHS release in the UK, and it got a Laserdisc release in Asia, and I think in Europe as well. But they're the only times they ever released them. Never got released in the US, understandably. DreamWorks Man 435 PS. If you want to explore Europe more, you should try to visit Spain and Gibraltar. If you don't know the ladder, we're the place with that massive rock, the Rock of Gibraltar, of course. I've been to Spain. I've done Barcelona before, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'd like to explore more of the country though, because it would, because I absolutely love it. It's beautiful, beautiful. I'm thinking of traveling. I'm thinking it's about time. I've been doing a little bit of work over here, saved up a little bit of money, and I'm thinking about going to start traveling around the UK, doing a few things. I want to go. I want to check out the Netherlands. I want to check out Vienna, Austria. I'd like to go and have a look at Sweden. These are all places that I've just never really done before, and I really want to explore all. I don't know. I've done a fair bit. I've done France. I've done Italy. I've done where have I been? Scotland, Ireland. I'd like to see more of Ireland because I didn't spend long there. Like 2 days in Dublin, and then went to the Blarney Castle. That's all I did. But I'd like to see more like the countryside. Wales, I'd like to see. I don't know, but I do. I got to explore more of Europe. What's your favourite non-animated DreamWorks movie from VHS, DVD, Blu-ray Previews Australia? Off the top of my head, let's have a look. Let's type in DreamWorks. Did Spielberg do Saving Private Ryan through DreamWorks? Because if so, that will be it. DreamWorks films. Let's have a look. List of DreamWorks pictures. Saving Private Ryan was one of the very first ones. I would probably say that. I love Saving Private Ryan so much. One of my favourite movies of all time. Meet the Parents was DreamWorks, of course. Great movie. A Beautiful Mind is a great movie. Road to Perdition is an amazing movie. Catch Me If You Can was great. The Terminal was an amazing movie. Anchorman was of course. But yes, I would say I think Saving Private Ryan was my favourite non-animated DreamWorks film. Nathan Fonten says, sorry, I do know you, but Nathan, I'm just very, very tired. Nathan Fonten says, I'd be interested in a 9 Old Men video. Do it. I think I will do it. Jeff B, I think you could do a series on maybe the history of different film studios. Disney could be one that you do. Yeah, I'd like to do a lot more stuff on not just specifically Disney stuff, just like film history, kind of, just in general, I'd love to do. Spree says, I want to watch the black and white Mickey Mouse 7-minute shorts. Where can I find them? Most of them are here on YouTube. If you go to, like, Wikipedia has got a list of all the Mickey Mouse cartoons ever. If you just type in Mickey Mouse filmography, you'll pull up a listing of all the Mickey Mouse cartoons. And anyone that interests you, come to YouTube. Most of them are on YouTube. If not, head over to Dailymotion. Dailymotion has most of them as well. But most of them are out there. Otherwise, you can buy them on DVD. I don't know if they're still available, though, from that Treasures collection. I know they were still available in Australia and the UK for a while, but I'm not sure about the US. DreamWorks Man 435 says, last question. Sorry for asking so much. You've said that you're not a big fan of the Rudish Mickey Mouse shorts. How much, if I may ask? I don't mind the Rudish shorts. Some of them are a bit of fun. They're a bit quirky. I feel like they're just so against everything that the characters are. Again, the studio has kept Mickey Mouse as this fairly innocent kind of character over the last 90 years. And the Rudish shorts really, I feel like they just turn Mickey into like a gross-out character. They turn Goofy into a gross-out character. And it's just like Ren and Stimpy kind of stuff. I don't feel like that particular style suits Disney. Again, some of them are fun. They're all right. They're enjoyable. But I feel like I'm not too sure about the way they're handling those shorts. Cinema synopsis. What's your favorite movie ever? I mentioned earlier in the video. The Wizard of Oz, my favorite movie of all time, next to Star Wars: A New Hope. Carter Lovejoy, how do you pull up Disney Blu-ray pamphlets like that? I just typed in Flubber Blu-ray on Google, and it came up with that picture because so many people are very annoyed that Flubber never came out. Yuvi says, sad to see that Robin Williams passed away in 2014. Yeah, that was a celebrity death that actually really shook me. Robin Williams is such a big part of my childhood growing up. I grew up with all of Robin Williams' films. I was lucky. I was a 90s kid, so I grew up with all the 90s, all the kids movies that he was making in the 90s, like Mrs. Doubtfire and Hook and Flubber and movies like that. Of course, Aladdin. I learned a lot from Robin Williams films. Jack is one of my favorite movies of all time with Robin Williams in it. I'm getting emotional now, which is crazy. I don't know. I get emotional every time I think about Robin Williams because he was very important to me, I think, not only growing up as someone watching the films, but I learned a lot about writing, about writing comedy, about writing drama, about just about films, just from his work, because his work was just so wonderful. I mean, how many people, how many actors can you say had such a vast, incredible lineup of works, and just almost every single one of those works is like a really important, really special movie. Patch Adams, What Dreams May Come. I'm forgetting so many of them off the top of my head. The Fisher King. Just about almost every one of Robin Williams' movies were amazing. And they're just movies that you watch and you feel happy and you laugh and you cry and you got so many emotions. And I learned a lot about not only just about movies and how to write stuff through his works, but I learned a lot about myself as a person too, I think. And he really did, because his movies were very human-based films and a lot about humanity, and they all teach you these great lessons. Anyway, we're going off a tangent here, but yeah, the death of Robin Williams actually really shook me. That's I cried when Robin Williams died. I'll say that. That was the first celebrity death I ever cried over, and Carrie Fisher as well. That was the other one. She's very important to me as well. But yeah, Robin Williams. I get emotional when I think of Robin Williams. Which is crazy. I love his movies. I love the guy. I was actually very lucky to be able to see him live. I saw him live in Melbourne. He did a stand-up show. It was brilliant. Probably maybe 5 or 6 years before he passed away. Amazing person. Carter Lovejoy says we need Tarantino movies on Blu-ray, on 4K. I agree. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. Just give them all to me. What's it called? Inglourious. I won't swear on my channel. You know what I'm talking about. The war film. Great film. Yeah, I would love to see. I love Tarantino stuff. Oh, have I reached the bottom of the thread? What? I've reached the bottom of the thread. I Deserve Sub says, what do you think of distributing home entertainment companies like Shock, Umbrella Entertainment, Madman? I love them because in most cases the movies that they release would never get released by the studios. This day and age in home media where, you know, people are trying to phase out home media, studios really have very little interest in releasing old catalog titles on Blu-ray. Companies like Shock, Umbrella Entertainment, Madman, Criterion, Eureka, Powerhouse, Indicator, all of these kind of smaller boutique labels. Without them around, all these movies that they release would never get home media releases on Blu-ray or 4K because the studios are just not interested. Carter Lovejoy, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jumanji. How did I forget Jumanji? Dead Poets Society. Did I say that one? I'm not sure. Loved it. Good Morning Vietnam. Yes. Awakening was brilliant. Yeah, Robin Williams did some amazing films. Jacob the Cool Kid says, hello. Hello, Jacob. Nathan Fonten says, I'd like to see you do some videos on your love of non-Disney classic cinema. Also, I don't know if you saw it earlier, but congrats on the 20K, man. Thank you so much. I didn't see it earlier, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your undying support. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to do a series of videos on classic cinema. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe now that we're growing a little bit more, the channel's got some good traction at the moment, maybe there would be interest in that stuff. It's something that I'm trying to put on the back. I've been putting on the back burner because there's just I haven't had that audience there for that kind of stuff, for more riskier, bolder stuff. And sometimes, you know, I spend 3 or 4 days on a big video and I put it up and it gets like a couple hundred views, and it makes me a little bit sad because I feel like I want more people to see it. So more risky stuff like that, I'm waiting until I have more of an audience for that, I think. Carter Lovejoy says, I'd love to see a Simpsons Blu-ray box set from Shout Factory. I don't know. The original Simpsons stuff was done was all produced in standard definition. And the Simpsons seasons that came out on Blu-ray anyway weren't very good. They were just very, very minor uptick from the DVDs. The only stuff that I think would be worth owning on Blu-ray is season 20 upwards, which is when they started producing in widescreen and in HD. But those seasons are not very good. So it's like a catch-22 kind of thing there. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray Previews Australia. What's your favourite Aardman movie? I would say probably Chicken Run. I absolutely love Chicken Run. It's just come out on Blu-ray too in the States. I need to try and get my hands on that. If that comes out in Australia, I'll buy it locally, I think, or in the UK. James Giotas asks, have you heard or seen Popeye starring Robin Williams or Cat Don't Dance starring Scott Bakula? Fun fact, Popeye was the first Disney film to co-produce Paramount Pictures. Yes, it was. I have watched it, and it's awful. That's, well, there you go. There's a Robin Williams movie that was just no good. But it's one of those movies that's so bad that it's quite enjoyable. I don't own it yet. You're right, it was co-produced between Disney and Paramount Pictures. Paramount has distribution in the States, and Disney has a distribution internationally. There is a DVD version of it available in the UK with the Disney branding on it, and I'm trying to get my hands on that. I'd like to buy that. I want to get it with the Disney branding on it, not the Paramount branding. Shove it in the Disney collection there. Again, I'm very finicky with these things. It's the same movie, but I want that little Disney logo on the top. Shove it in the Disney collection. What else we got? Oh yeah, Carter Lovejoy says Once Upon a Time in Hollywood might get a 4K release by the end of the year. Very true. I think it probably will. That's of course Tarantino's next film, which looks incredible. And maybe that will give the studios a bit of impetus to release those movies on 4K. I don't know who owns... Disney obviously owned Miramax at the time that they produced Pulp Fiction and like Kill Bill. A lot of those earlier Tarantino films. Disney owned all those films. They were produced through Disney and Miramax. But when Disney sold Miramax off, they sold the rights to all those movies. So I am actually not sure who has distribution rights for those movies at the moment. So it will be interesting to see. Jeff B, I'm glad I caught the stream, Dave. Do you have any plans for more Euro vlogs? The vlogs that I do never really get any views, which is why I kind of really don't do vlog kind of stuff anymore. But yeah, if I did go exploring Europe, I probably would do maybe 1 or 2 Euro vlogs, see how they go, if they got some views. And more so for my family back home, so they can see what my adventures have been like over here. Go big or go ballistic. What a cool channel name. Hey Dave, what is your favorite Marvel character? It's strange because I chop and change. Like I couldn't pick a side in Civil War. I found that both Tony Stark and Steve Rogers both had really good points, and I found it very hard to actually pick a side in Civil War, and I love both of those characters so much, Iron Man and Captain America. I probably would give Iron Man a slight sort of incline, only because I just love the Iron Man movies. The original, well, you know what, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe film, next to Infinity War. But I love the original Iron Man too. And I feel like such a big connection. Like, I guess even at this point, it's like a nostalgic thing. That first Iron Man movie was amazing. So probably in the films, I would say Iron Man, Captain America, kind of tied. In the comics, though, I love Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love Ant-Man and the Wasp in the comics. I think they're fantastic. But not so much in the film. I love them in the films, but Tony Stark and Steve Rogers get the leg up in the films. Aaron Johnson asks, "Greetings, Dave. Greetings, Aaron. Oh, pardon me, hiccup. Would Shout Milk..." I've got a very itchy nose tonight too. I don't know why. That's why I keep scratching my nose. Would Shout, Mill Creek, and Kino help to preserve Disney's older and new titles from the physical media side, while offering the same films digitally, pardon me, to stores like Amazon? Very interesting. Disney recently... Mill Creek had the rights to all the Touchstone back catalogue, or most of the Touchstone back catalogue, for years. There's a lot of Touchstone movies that got released by Mill Creek over in the States. The rights to those movies now have gone to Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber released a lot of the old DreamWorks movies now. Sorry, DreamWorks movies, Touchstone movies. I think, I don't know. Again, the streaming thing puts a bit of a cog in the works, because it's, I feel like Disney are going to start holding a lot of the stuff close to the chest now. That's the whole idea of their streaming thing, and them taking their movies off other platforms, is so that it's just like one hub, there's one place you can get Disney stuff. And I feel like they might pull that with home media, where they will just go, no, we're going to take this from you, we're going to take this from you. I don't know, but I would hope that stuff like those Touchstone movies, maybe even some of the older Disney movies that they don't want to release, I would hope that they gave those distribution rights off to other labels. But I just don't know. You just never know. You would just never know. But I would hope. That would be cool. That would be cool. Carter Lovejoy says Lionsgate owns the Miramax titles now. Yes, they do. Lionsgate owns them. So they're out of Disney hands. So it'll be up to Lionsgate to release them. And I'm not a huge fan of Lionsgate's 4K releases. They've been touch and go. Technos, what does the DCEU need to do to keep up with the MCU? DCEU lost its chance. DCEU's crumbled. Affleck's gone. Cavill's gone. Will Smith's gone. Everyone's jumping left, right, and center. We've got Jared Leto is now playing Morbius the Vampire in a film, so he's jumped over to it's not MCU, but it's a Marvel Fox film. I think who's doing Morbius? Is it Fox? Whoever has Morbius. Sony's doing Morbius, of course, because part of the Venom Spider-Verse. What was the question? Oh yeah, I think the DCEU lost its chance. The DCEU's problem was it tried to emulate Marvel's success in half of the time. And DC, Warner Brothers got a bit cocky because they had the biggest superheroes in the world. The most popular superheroes of all time. The most popular, some of the most well-known fictional characters of the 20th century, and DC got a bit cocky. They thought, well, look how good all these Marvel movies are doing. I mean, everyone knows Batman, everyone knows Wonder Woman, everyone knows Superman. We'll just be able to make a movie and get Avengers-like numbers, but it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. What DC need to do is what I think their new direction now is going to be kind of doing. I think they're going to focus on a lot of one-shot stuff. And then if that one-shot stuff is well-received, maybe they take it slow and they start converging the one-shot things and doing crossovers and maybe the idea is not to do what Marvel does with this intertwined universe. Maybe it's just to have like this great universe of one-shot things that maybe reference each other. I don't want to see another Batman or another Superman on screen for years because I really wish the DCEU had it worked out because they were my favourite superheroes growing up as a kid, and Marvel just came in and swooped everything swooped everything up. James Goddard says, I do respect your opinion on Popeye despite I enjoyed the film. It's an enjoyable movie, but it's a bad movie. It's one of those so bad it's good. Just give me 1 second, guys. I will be back in 1 moment. Just give me a second. We're back. Sorry about a little interruption there. Okay, let's get back to it. I'm going to stay on for another 20 minutes. That'll take us to 12 a.m. my time here, and then I'm gonna head to bed because I'm a bit tired. We'll answer some more questions for the next 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna go off to bed. Let's get into some more questions here. Nicholas Newland says, now let me just make sure, he's talking about Captain Marvel, making sure there's no spoilery stuff in here. I found with Captain Marvel, some stuff wasn't explained too well. Saw the movie with a bunch of mates who didn't understand certain things. Yeah, I think Captain Marvel had a fairly clunky narrative, and that didn't really help with explaining stuff. I don't know. It was, yeah, so it's a really clunky movie. I think if you didn't really know what was going on, you'd be a little bit confused. I did have issues with the movie. I didn't love it, but it was a decent movie. But yeah, I do get where you're coming from. Whereas in other movies like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, you've had like this really great establishment where you understand what's going on. Captain Marvel, I agree, was a little bit confusing. Cattle Lovejoy, will we get a 4K release of Unbreakable in the future? I don't know. I don't know what Disney's stance is on catalog stuff at the moment. They've released like a bunch of Marvel stuff, a bunch of animated stuff, catalog. But I don't know if they'll go back and do Unbreakable unless Universal says, look, just give it to us and we'll put a release out. I'm not sure. I hope so. But I think the time to do it was now with the release of Glass on 4K. So I'm not sure if we'll see that. Have you seen Mallrats by Kevin Smith? Yes, I have. It's great. Josh P. Hey, Dave, can you talk about how you became a Disney fan and why? I've been a Disney fan my whole life. Like I said, the very first movie I ever saw in cinemas was The Lion King. The second movie I saw in cinemas was Toy Story. I grew up loving movies like Pinocchio, Dumbo, Bambi, Snow White, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast. I grew up in the Disney Renaissance, basically. So there were all these brilliant, amazing Disney movies coming out. I think when I got a bit older, I kind of I drifted away from the Disney stuff. I think a lot of people, I don't know so much now because Disney pump out so much amazing content. But back in I guess the 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, when Disney wasn't really making great stuff, stuff like Home on the Range, and I know a lot of people love Treasure Planet, but I don't really like Treasure Planet. I don't rate that. They didn't make very good movies. Let's say that. So a lot of people just kind of went off Disney stuff, and I feel like I went through that period too, where I wasn't really that into Disney. I was probably about, I don't know. It was I think I just left high school, or no, I would have still been in high school. My last couple of years of high school, so I've been 17, 18 years old. Snow White was released on Blu-ray, and I was just curious to see one of these classic Disney animated titles on Blu-ray and check out some of the special features. I got that, I checked it out, checked the special features out, and I was just instantly captivated. There's this wonderful documentary on there about Walt Disney creating Snow White at the old Hyperion Studios, and I was just captivated. I just thought, wow, it's an amazing story. I went and bought a biography of Walt Disney, which is it's a book called it's called Walt Disney, the biography, or Walt Disney, a biography in Australia and the UK. It's called Walt Disney American. I can't remember. It's by a guy named Neil Gabler. A lot of Disney fans discredit the work, say that a lot of people don't like the work because it paints Walt Disney in kind of a little bit of a darker light, but I like the more human element to Walt Disney. Anyway, his story was so inspiring to me, and I became enthralled with anything and everything Disney. And the more I dug into the history of the Disney studio, not only in Walt Disney's time, but even in like the 1980s under the rule of Michael Eisner, Jeffrey Katzenberg, I just fell in love with every era of Disney, and it helped that at the time the Diamond Editions were coming out. Then Beauty and the Beast, would come out on Blu-ray, and I got to explore the making of Beauty and the Beast. Around that same time, a bunch of people from the Disney studios came to Melbourne to do a series of talks. Glenn Keane was an animator. He designed the Beast and so many other great characters, including Ariel. Can't remember who else he did. Tarzan, amazing animator. I got to meet him. I got to see him do a talk. Came out with Roy Conley, who's a producer behind Tangled, a couple of other films as well. So it was just at that time, everything was happening, and I was just really, really getting into it, getting into the history, getting into exploring all the movies all over again. And I've just devoted like the last 11 years of my life to just studying the Disney studios and studying the films. That's where it began. That's where it began. Carter Lovejoy, they're reissuing Toy Story 1 to 3 on Blu-ray. Reskins of the Blu-rays we already have, yet no 4K announcement. Check Blu-ray.com. Look, I'll have a look. Story. Oh yeah, wow. I actually hadn't seen these, so we are getting new releases of Toy Story in June, in 3 months' time. They're quite nice covers, actually. I feel like if they're doing this, they are probably going to do 4K releases of these too. But that can't be guaranteed. Let's have a look. Toy Story 3. Wow, these are gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous covers, actually. I think they will. I think they'll launch 4K titles alongside these. Just keep your eyes open. We'll keep your eyes open. As soon as I hear anything, we will we'll talk about it on the channel, and you'll be the first to know. Carter Lovejoy, I hope we don't go through another dark age at Disney ever again. I really hope we don't either. Braden Jukes Rankmore asks if I've seen Alita Battle Angel. I haven't got around to seeing that one just yet. Russell Hale. Not sure if you responded to my question before the screen locked. Let's see if I can find... Would you ever consider coming on my podcast as a guest via Skype? Yes, I would. I would definitely consider that. I'm always happy to do like interviews and stuff. My email address is, if you just go like the information tab on my YouTube page. You'll find my email address there. Send me off an email and we'll discuss that. Yeah, very happy. Let's have a look. Technos, what is your most prized possession in your movie collection? I don't know. I don't know. I think my Disney collection. I think just my whole Disney collection is like my pride and joy of my Blu-ray collection. I have a lot of great collector's editions, like big box sets and stuff, like Wizard of Oz, Casablanca, all those old like Warner Brothers Ultimate Collector's Edition things. I really, really, really love all of those. But I think, again, the Disney movies are pride of my collection. I'm trying to find a picture here, hang on, of the Disney collection if people haven't seen it. This is from November 2017, so it looks a little bit different now. There's quite a lot more titles in the collection now, but that is all Disney films. That's my Disney collection. So the first two and a half shelves there are all animated titles, and then the next, guess, two shelves is all Disney live action, and then the following shelves are Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures releases as well there. So that is my Disney Blu-ray collection. Oh, and all the stuff in the middle that you see sort of in that middle shelf, all lying kind of there horizontally, they're all documentaries and stuff. That is the pride of my collection. That is the pride of my collection. I love that. It's taken a very long time, 11 years to build that collection up. And again, that was 2017 November, so there's quite a lot more in that collection now. Samuel Yu asks, hey Dave, do you draw? I unfortunately do not draw. I wish I could draw. I wish I could draw and be an animator. I would love that, but unfortunately not. But actually, I will go back to Technos' question. I'm not sure if he's specifically talking about my collection of Blu-rays, but just like my movie collection, like my collection stuff. I have a couple of signed books which are very near and dear to me. I have a big Disney book signed by both Glen Keane. It's got a wonderful sketch in there of the Beast from Glen Keane and his autograph. And it's also got Jeffrey Katzenberg's autograph in that as well. I've got a book signed by David Attenborough. Not that that's really films, but I have a book signed by David Attenborough, which is very means a lot to me. I've got a few signed things that I hold very near and dear. Ross Livingston asks, what MCU movie do you want to come to 4K next after Captain America trilogy? Iron Man. I'd love the Iron Man trilogy. I'm pretty sure we will get them sometime soon. Russell Hale asks, have you ever seen Something Wicked This Way Comes? Yes, I have. A very dark, very strange Disney movie from the 1980s. Yeah. Dimension Scott, do you think Captain Marvel will grow more the more you watch it? I hope it is. I've spoken to a few friends who have seen it twice and enjoyed it more on second viewing, picked up more. The movie's very different to what I think everyone was expecting it to be, and I think maybe going into it a second time with that mindset of, okay, this is what I'm going into, might help us enjoy it more. I don't know. It's definitely not going to be a one and done movie for me. I'm definitely going to go back and see it another time. Maybe not in cinemas. I'll probably wait for it to come to Blu-ray because it'll only be like 2 or 3 months. But yeah, I will. And every time I do a Marvel marathon, it'll come out, of course. And who knows? It might grow on me that it might be one of those movies that I'm like, yeah, I feel like watching Captain Marvel. I hope. Because I love that character. I really love that character. Cattle Lovejoy asks, thoughts on Space Jam 2, Space Jam 4K in the future, also Wizard of Oz 4K. 3 questions in one. Thoughts on Space Jam 2. A little bit of trepidation going into that. I don't know if it'll live up to the original one, but again, let's let the new generation have it. I think it should be good. Space Jam 4K, maybe, I don't know. Catalog titles on 4K are so hit and miss at the moment. They're so like you can't predict them, especially from Warner Brothers. I don't know how much they've really done in the way of catalog stuff. If it was from Sony, Sony would have pumped that out straight away. Wizard of Oz 4K this year is the 80th anniversary of the Wizard of Oz, so I'm pretty sure we will see a 4K edition of the movie by year's end. Halo Super Wario Prime says if you stream with OBS, you could put photos on the screen. Yes, I actually am streaming with OBS, but I'm still trying to get my head around it at the moment. Yeah. I will work on that in the future. I'll play around with that. Nicholas Newland, have you seen Marvel's Runaways? It's so good. Can't talk highly enough of it. I haven't watched it. I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel television stuff, but I am, maybe one day I'll kind of sit and watch that stuff. There's just so much of it now, just so much of it. Jeff B, has anyone asked how England is treating you? Good as you hoped. Yeah, they have actually. Well, someone asked what I was doing in England, basically. England's treating me very well. I'm loving it here. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. Weather is a bit, over winter. It's very cold. I had a terrible cold over Christmas, like awful cold. Like the worst cold I've ever had in my life. I was like a chest cold. I've never had anything like that. And I got over it, and 2 days later, I caught another one. It lasted a good 3 or 4 weeks, that 2 colds back to back, just over Christmas. It was terrible, but I think I'm getting used to the weather a bit more now. I've had a little bit of work over here, which has been good, and I really love it here. But I do need to get out and start exploring more of Europe. Brandon Drukes, Raymore, my favourite movie is A Star is Born 2018. What's your favourite movie? Again, I answered this early in the stream. Wizard of Oz and Star Wars A New Hope are my 2 favourite movies of all time. A Star is Born 2018 is my favourite movie of, one of my favourite movies of 2018, and probably one of my favourite movies of the last decade. Leighton Hales, hey Dave, is the Green Book 4K Blu-ray that you did in your video region free? Yes, it is. Which I was very surprised, actually, because that is another one of those Universal titles that was released through Entertainment One internationally. But yes, the Blu-ray is region free. Halo Super Mario Prime, did you watch the Walt Disney documentary they put on SBS a few months ago? Yeah, that's they did that one for PBS in America quite a few years ago now. It's a wonderful, wonderful documentary. I haven't seen the Australian version yet. I think it's just a cut-down version of the American one. They did a UK version of it too with a whole new voiceover, like a British voiceover and everything for the BBC, which was quite a decent version of that too. Yeah. Nicholas Newland says Iron Man is on 4K in Germany with English audio. Surprised it's not released elsewhere. Yeah, warning on that because for some reason Disney in Germany don't have the rights to the Marvel movies or for those early Phase 1 Marvel movies. The release of the Iron Man trilogy in Germany is not really an official... It's an official release in the way that the company, the distributor that has released the movies has the rights to distribute them, but it's just a really poor upscale from the Blu-ray masters, basically. Whereas if Marvel were to release it, it would be a proper 4K master. Obviously, it would be an upscale, but they would do proper HDR coloring. They would go back to the source, the master source, and put together a new master specifically for the 4K. Whereas whatever the distributor in Germany was, they just upscaled the previously existing thing and put it out there. They're not good releases. Don't pick them up. Disney will officially release them eventually. Ross Livingston, do you know why Black Cauldron's not out on Blu-ray? Again, that's just one of those movies that Disney, I guess, is not very proud of. It's a very dark, animated movie. Well, look, it's out on DVD, so I can't really make that argument. I just guess they don't think it'll sell very well because it never has. It's never been a classic. It's more of a cult thing. Never made money at the box office. Absolutely tanked. It's not a really great film. I hope in my heart that we will get we'll get a Blu-ray of it, but if we do, it'll likely be through the Disney Movie Club. Julian Radar, do you like the Disney movie? Do you like the Disney remakes? I love them for the most part. I have varying degrees of love for the Disney remakes. Josh P, what are your thoughts about all of these live-action remakes? Do you think they should stick to the original versions or take a different approach? Yeah, I like the ones where they take risks. So I like Maleficent because it specifically took a risk of telling the story in a different way. I love these remakes, but then when we get into this territory of the remake being a shot-for-shot of the original animation, you kind of do go, well, what's the point of that? Why are we telling this story with the exact same beats, with the exact same shots? There needs to be something there, a little bit more substance there, where they take it in some kind of different direction than the original source, I think. But for the most part, I've enjoyed most of them. Look, guys, I'm going to close this off in about 5 minutes, so I could please ask to hold off on any more questions. I want to try and get through as many as I can here, because I just want to try and get through as many more of these questions. And yeah, so if you could hold off on any more questions for now, that would be much appreciated. Halo Super Mario Prime, how do they upscale movies for 4K that weren't shot in 4K already? Basically, they just have a 4K workflow, whatever program they're using to master it, they just master it to 4K, basically. And when you master it on a 4K timeline, I guess, as a 4K project, naturally it upscales it. That's like the simple way of saying it, anyway. Simple way of putting it. Top Gun 4K before Top Gun 2, hopefully. Love that movie. Love Top Gun, one of the best movies ever. Nicholas Newland with Captain Marvel and Avengers pretty much back to back. I doubt we'll see a Blu-ray or even digital release of Captain Marvel before Avengers. You're right, we won't. We'll see Captain Marvel come out on Blu-ray in 3 months' time, probably, whereas the Avengers out next month. So they will both be in cinemas at the same time. Same thing happened last year with Black Panther and Infinity War. They were both in cinemas at the same time. Which is kind of weird. I should say, I did say not to ask any more questions, but I'm happy for you guys to chat away in the chat if you like, amongst yourselves. But yeah, I'm just going to try and get through the remainder of the questions here, and I'm gonna sign out. Carter Lovejoy, do you like the Disney movie Enchanted? Love it. Also, favorite Disney Channel movie? Can't really think off the top of my head if I've really seen many of the Disney Channel movies. Yeah, I don't think I've really seen any of them, so I don't know if I really would have a favorite one. Nicholas Newland says they use, this is in relation to how do they upscale to 4K. They use pixel doubling. Example, 1080p pixel equals 4 pixels in 4K. Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's basically how it works. So there's more pixels to the image. It's more screen resolution. You're obviously not going to get a full 4K resolution out of it, but it does uptick the detail slightly. It pulls out a little bit more detail in it. VHS DVD Blu-ray Previews Australia. Do you think the Frozen will be released in 4K when the new one comes out? I think you can just about guarantee that. I think that's almost a guarantee right there. And then I think we've got to the bottom of the thread. Bang on 12 a.m. Awesome. And we're closing in on 2 hours on the stream, which is great. I am a bit tired now. My throat's a bit sore. And 12 a.m. Yeah, I'm quite tired and I'm ready to go to sleep. I was actually editing a video before I came on here, and how much? Yeah, I don't know. I might edit that in the morning. I still got a bit left on that. It's just a Captain Marvel spoiler review. That'll be my video that's going up tomorrow. It's a little bit of an off the cuff thing. I just kind of sat there and talked into the microphone about what I liked, what I didn't like. I don't know if the video is any good. I'm going to put it up. You guys can be the judge of that. But that'll go up tomorrow. And then during the week, I'm going to work on, Daisy Duck Evolution and a couple of other things that I've got planned. And then whatever else comes up during the week. So look, guys, thank you once again for joining me. This has been a great live stream. Been on here for 2 hours. Thank you for all the awesome questions. I always have a lot of fun doing these. I really appreciate you showing up for these and asking so many great questions. And once again, thank you so much for 20,000 subscribers and for all the amazing, amazing reception you've been giving my videos of late. It's very humbling. It's like I didn't think I'd ever reach this stage, 20,000 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Look, guys, I am going to sign off. Once again, thank you for joining me here today, and I will see you on the next video, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Hopefully it won't be too long. Hopefully maybe in a couple of weeks' time I'll do another live stream. Thanks again for joining me, guys, and take it easy. Where's my thing to turn this off? There we go. See you later. Bye.